Part 4. Part 4. The last meal. The elephant's look. Then the Blessed One, getting ready in the forenoon, took bowl and robe and went into Vasali for alms. After the alms round and meal, on his return, he looked upon Vasali with the elephant's look, and said to the Venerable Ananda, "This, Ananda, is the last time that the Tathagata will look upon Vasali. Come, Ananda, let us go to Bandagama." "So be it, O Lord." And the Blessed One took up his abode at Bandagama together with a large community of bhikkhus. And the Blessed One addressed the bhikkhus, saying, "Bhikkhus, it is through not realizing, through not penetrating four principles that this long course of birth and death has been passed through and undergone by me as well as by you." What are those four? They are noble virtue, noble concentration, noble wisdom, and noble emancipation. But now, bhikkhus, that these have been realized and penetrated, cut off is the craving for existence. Destroyed is that which leads to renewed becoming, and there is no fresh becoming. And having spoken these words, the Happy One, the Master, spoke again, saying, "Virtue, concentration, wisdom, and emancipation unsurpassed. These are the principles realized by Gautama the Renowned. And, knowing them, he, the Buddha, to his monks has taught the Dhamma. He, the destroyer of suffering, the Master, the Seer, is at peace." And also at Bandagama the Blessed One often gave counsel to the bhikkhus thus: "Such and such is virtue, such and such is concentration, and such is wisdom. Great becomes the fruit, great is the gain of concentration. When it is fully developed by virtuous conduct, great becomes the fruit, great is the gain of wisdom when it is fully developed by concentration. Utterly freed from the taints of lust, becoming, and ignorance is the mind that is fully developed in wisdom." When the Blessed One had stayed at Bandagama as long as he pleased, he spoke to the Venerable Ananda, "Come, Ananda, let us go to Hathagama." "So be it, Lord." And the Blessed One took up his abode at Hathagama together with a large community of bhikkhus. And when the Blessed One had stayed at Hathagama as long as he pleased, he took up his abode at Ambagama, then at Jambugama. And at each of these places the Blessed One often gave counsel to the bhikkhus thus: "Such and such is virtue, such and such is concentration, and such is wisdom. Great becomes the fruit, great is the gain of concentration when it is fully developed by virtuous conduct, great becomes the fruit, great is the gain of wisdom. When it is fully developed by concentration, utterly freed from the taints of lust, becoming, and ignorance is the mind that is fully developed in wisdom." And when the Blessed One had stayed at Jambugama as long as he pleased, he spoke to the Venerable Ananda, "Come, Ananda, let us go to Bhoganagara." "So be it, Lord." And the Blessed One took up his abode at Bhoganagara together with a large community of bhikkhus, and stayed in the Ananda shrine. The four great references. And there the Blessed One addressed the bhikkhus, saying, "Now, bhikkhus, I shall make known to you the four great references. Listen and pay heed to my words." And those bhikkhus answered, saying, "So be it, Lord." Then the Blessed One said, "In this fashion, bhikkhus, a bhikkhu might speak face to face with the Blessed One, 'Brethren, I have heard and learned thus. This is the Dhamma and the discipline, the Master's dispensation,' or, 'In an abode of such and such a name lives a community with elders and a chief. Face to face with that community, I have heard and learned thus. This is the Dhamma and the discipline, the Master's dispensation,' or, 'In an abode of such and such a name live several bhikkhus who are elders, who are learned, who have accomplished their course, who are preservers of the Dhamma, the discipline, and the summaries. Face to face with those elders, I have heard and learned thus. This is the Dhamma and the discipline, the Master's dispensation, or in an abode of such. And such a name lives a single bhikkhu who is an elder, who is learned, who has accomplished his course, who is a preserver of the Dhamma, the discipline, and the summaries. Face to face with that elder, I have heard and learned thus, this is the Dhamma and the discipline, the Master's dispensation. In such a case, bhikkhus, the declaration of such a bhikkhu is neither to be received with approval nor with scorn. Without approval and without scorn. But carefully studying the sentences word by word, one should trace them in the discourses and verify them by the discipline. If they are neither traceable in the discourses nor verifiable by the discipline, one must conclude thus. Certainly, this is not the Blessed One's utterance. This has been misunderstood by that bhikkhu or by that community, or by those elders, or by that elder. In that way, bhikkhus, you should reject it. But if the sentences concerned are traceable in the discourses and verifiable by the discipline, then one must conclude thus. Certainly, this is the Blessed One's utterance. This has been well understood by that bhikkhu or by that community, or by those elders, or by that elder. And in that way, bhikkhus, you may accept it on the first, second, third, or fourth reference. These, bhikkhus, are the four great references for you to preserve. And also at Bhoganagara, at the Ananda shrine, the Blessed One often gave counsel to the bhikkhus thus. Such and such is virtue, such and such is concentration, and such is wisdom. Great becomes the fruit, great is the gain of concentration when it is fully developed by virtuous conduct. Great becomes the fruit, great is the gain of wisdom when it is fully developed by concentration, utterly freed from the taints of lust, becoming. And ignorance is the mind that is fully developed in wisdom. When the Blessed One had stayed at Bhoganagara as long as he pleased, he spoke to the Venerable Ananda, saying, Come, Ananda, let us go to Pava. So be it, Lord. And the Blessed One took up his abode at Pava together with a great community of bhikkhus, and stayed in the mango grove of Chunda, who was by family a metalworker. The Buddha's last meal, and Chunda the metalworker came to know. The Blessed One, they say, has arrived at Pava, and is staying in my mango grove. And he went to the Blessed One, and having respectfully greeted him, sat down at one side. And the Blessed One instructed Chunda the metalworker in the Dhamma, and roused, edified, and gladdened him. Then Chunda spoke to the Blessed One, saying, May the Blessed One, O Lord, please accept my invitation for tomorrow's meal, together with the community of bhikkhus. And by his silence the Blessed One consented. Sure, then, of the Blessed One's consent, Chunda the metalworker rose from his seat, respectfully saluted the Blessed One, and keeping his right side towards him, took his departure. And Chunda the metalworker, after the night had passed, had choice food, hard and soft, prepared in his abode, together with a quantity of sukara madhava, and announced it to the Blessed One, saying, It is time, O Lord, the meal is ready. Thereupon the Blessed One, in the forenoon, having got ready, took bowl and robe and went with the community of bhikkhus to the house of Chunda, and there sat down on the seat prepared for him. And he spoke to Chunda, saying, With the sukara madhava you have prepared, Chunda, you may serve me. With the other food, hard and soft, you may serve the community of bhikkhus. So be it, Lord. And with the sukara madhava prepared by him, he served the Blessed One, and with the other food, hard and soft, he served the community of bhikkhus. Thereafter the Blessed One spoke to Chunda, saying, Whatever, Chunda, is left over of the sukara madhava, bury that in a pit. For I do not see in all this world, with its gods, maras, and brahmas, among the host of ascetics and brahmins, gods and men, anyone who could eat it and entirely digest it except the Tathagata alone. And Chunda the metalworker answered the Blessed One saying, So be it, O Lord. And what remained over of the Sukara Madhava he buried in a pit. Then he returned to the Blessed One, respectfully greeted him, and sat down at one side. And the Blessed One instructed Chunda the metalworker in the Dhamma, and roused, edified, and gladdened him. After this he rose from his seat and departed. And soon after the Blessed One had eaten the meal provided by Chunda the metalworker, a dire sickness fell upon him, even dysentery. And he suffered sharp and deadly pains. But the Blessed One endured them mindfully, clearly comprehending and unperturbed. Then the Blessed One spoke to the Venerable Ananda, saying, Come, Ananda, let us go to Kusinara. And the Venerable Ananda answered, So be it, Lord. When he had eaten Chunda's food, I heard, with fortitude the deadly pains he bore. From the Sukara Madhava a sore and dreadful sickness came upon the Lord. But nature's pangs he endured. Come, let us go. To Kusinara, was his dauntless word, the clearing of the waters. Now on the way the Blessed One went aside from the highway and stopped at the foot of a tree. And he said to the Venerable Ananda, Please fold my upper robe in four, Ananda, and lay it down. I am weary and want to rest a while. So be it, Lord. And the Venerable Ananda folded the robe in four and laid it down. And the Blessed One sat down on the seat prepared for him and said to the Venerable Ananda, Please bring me some water, Ananda. I am thirsty and want to drink. And the Venerable Ananda answered the Blessed One, But just now, Lord, a great number of carts, 500 carts, have passed over, and the shallow water has been cut through by the wheels, so that it flows turbid and muddy. But the Kakutha River, Lord, is quite close by, and its waters are clear, pleasant, cool, and translucent. It is easily approachable and delightfully placed. There the Blessed One can quench his thirst and refresh his limbs. But a second time the Blessed One made his request, and the Venerable Ananda answered him as before. And then for a third time the Blessed One said, Please bring me some water, Ananda. I am thirsty and want to drink. Then the Venerable Ananda answered, saying, So be it, Lord. And he took the bowl and went to the stream. And the shallow water, which had been cut through by the wheels so that it flowed turbid and muddy, became clear and settled down, pure and pleasant as the Venerable Ananda drew near. Then the Venerable Ananda thought, Marvelous and most wonderful indeed is the power and glory of the Tathagata. And he took up water in the bowl and carried it to the Blessed One, and said, Marvelous and most wonderful indeed is the power and glory of the Tathagata. For this shallow water, which had been cut through by the wheels so that it flowed turbid and muddy, became clear and settled down, pure and pleasant. As I drew near, now let the Blessed One drink the water. Let the Happy One drink. And the Blessed One drank the water. Pukusa the Mala. Now it so happened that one Pukusa of the Mala clan, who was a disciple of Alara Kalama, was passing by on his way from Kusinara to Pava. And when he saw the Blessed One seated at the foot of a tree, he approached him, respectfully greeted him, and sat down at one side. And he spoke to the Blessed One, saying, Marvelous it is, Lord, most wonderful it is, O Lord, the state of calmness wherein abide those who have gone forth from the world. For at one time, Lord, Alara Kalama was on a journey, and he went aside from the highway and sat down by the wayside at the foot of a tree to pass the heat of the day. And it came about, Lord, that a great number of carts, even 500 carts, passed by him, one by one. And then, Lord, a certain man, who was following behind that train of carts, approached and spoke to him, saying, Did you, sir, see a great number of carts that passed you by? And Alara Kalama answered him, I did not see them, brother. But the noise, sir, surely you heard? I did not hear it, brother. Then that man asked him, Then, sir, perhaps you slept? No, brother, I was not sleeping. Then, sir, were you conscious? I was, brother. Then that man said, Then, sir, while conscious and awake you still did not see the great number of carts, even 500 carts, that passed you by one after another, nor heard the noise. Why, sir, your very robe is covered with their dust. And Alara Kalama replied, saying, So it is, brother. And to that man, O Lord, came the thought, Marvelous it is, most wonderful indeed it is, the state of calmness wherein abide those who have gone forth from the world. And there arose in him great faith in Alara Kalama, and he went his way. Now what do you think, Pukusa? What is more difficult to do, more difficult to meet with, that a man, while conscious and awake, should not see a great number of carts, even 500 carts, that passed him by one after another, nor hear the noise, or that one conscious and awake, in the midst of a heavy rain, with thunder rolling, lightning flashing, and thunderbolts crashing, should neither see it nor hear the noise? What, O Lord, are 500 carts, nay, 6, 7, 8, 900, or 1,000 or even hundreds of thousands of carts, compared with this? Now one time, Pukusa, I was staying at Atuma, and had my abode in a barn there. And at that time there was a heavy rain, with thunder rolling, lightning flashing, and thunderbolts crashing. And 2 farmers who were brothers were killed close to the barn, together with 4 oxen, and a great crowd came forth from Atuma to the spot where they were killed. Now at that time, Pukusa, I had come out of the barn and was walking up and down in thought before the door. And a certain man from the great crowd approached me, respectfully greeted me, and stood at one side. And I asked him, Why, brother, has this great crowd gathered together? And he answered me, Just now, Lord, there was a heavy rain, with thunder rolling, lightning flashing, and thunderbolts crashing. And 2 farmers who were brothers were killed close by, together with 4 oxen. It is because of this that the great crowd has gathered. But where, Lord, were you? I was here, brother. Yet, Lord, did you not see it? I did not see it, brother. But the noise, Lord, you surely heard? I did not hear it, brother. Then that man asked me, Then, Lord, perhaps you slept? No, brother, I was not sleeping. Then, Lord, you were conscious? I was, brother. Then that man said, Then, Lord, while conscious and awake, in the midst of a heavy rain, with thunder rolling, lightning flashing, and thunderbolts crashing, you neither saw it nor heard the noise. And I answered him, saying, I did not, brother. And to that man, Pukusa, came the thought, Marvelous it is, most wonderful indeed it is, the state of calmness wherein abide those who have gone forth from the world. And there arose in him great faith in me, and he respectfully saluted me, and keeping his right side towards me, he went his way. When this had been said, Pukusa of the Mala clan said to the Blessed One, The faith, Lord, that I had in Alara Kalama I now scatter to the mighty wind. I let it be carried away as by a flowing stream. Excellent, O Lord, most excellent, O Lord. It is as if, Lord, one were to set upright what had been overthrown, or to reveal what had been hidden, or to show the path to one who had gone astray, or to light a lamp in the darkness so that those having eyes might see. Even so has the Blessed One set forth the Dhamma in many ways. And so, O Lord, I take my refuge in the Blessed One, the Dhamma, and the community of bhikkhus. May the Blessed One accept me as his disciple, one who has taken refuge until the end of life. Then Pukusa of the Mala clan spoke to a certain man, saying, "Bring me at once, friend, 2 sets of golden-hued robes, burnished and ready for wear." And the man answered him, "So be it, sir." And when the robes were brought, Pukusa of the Mala clan offered them to the Blessed One, saying, "May the Blessed One, O Lord, out of compassion, accept this from me." And the Blessed One said, "Robe me." Then in one, Pukusa, and in the other robe Ananda. "So be it, Lord." And he thereupon robed the Blessed One in one, and in the other he robed the Venerable Ananda. And then the Blessed One instructed Pukusa of the Mala clan in the Dhamma, and roused, edified, and gladdened him. And after that, Pukusa rose from his seat, respectfully saluted the Blessed One, and keeping his right side towards him, went his way. And soon after Pukusa of the Mala clan had departed, the Venerable Ananda arranged the set of golden-hued robes, burnished and ready for wear, about the body of the Blessed One. But when the set of robes was arranged upon the body of the Blessed One, it became as though faded, and its splendor dimmed. And the Venerable Ananda said to the Blessed One, "Marvelous it is, O Lord, most wonderful indeed it is, how clear and radiant the skin of the Tathagata appears. This set of golden-hued robes, burnished and ready for wear, Lord, now that it is arranged upon the body of the Blessed One seems to have become faded, its splendor dimmed." It is so, Ananda. There are 2 occasions, Ananda, when the skin of the Tathagata appears exceedingly clear and radiant. Which are these 2? The night, Ananda, when the Tathagata becomes fully enlightened in unsurpassed, supreme enlightenment, and the night when the Tathagata comes to his final passing away into the state of Nibbana in which no element of clinging remains. These, Ananda, are the 2 occasions on which the skin of the Tathagata appears exceedingly clear and radiant. And now today, in the last watch of this very night, Ananda, in the Malas Sala Grove, in the vicinity of Kusinara, between 2 Sala trees, the Tathagata will come to his Parinibbana. So now, Ananda, let us go to the Kakutha river. Clad in Pukusa's gift, the robes of gold, the Master's form was radiant to behold. At the Kakutha river. Then the Blessed One went to the Kakutha river together with a great community of bhikkhus. And he went down into the water, bathed, and drank. And coming forth from the water again, he went to the mango grove, and there spoke to the Venerable Kundaka, saying, "Please fold my upper robe in 4, Kundaka, and lay it down. I am weary and would rest a while." "So be it, Lord." And Kundaka folded the robe in 4 and laid it down. And the Blessed One lay down on his right side, in the lion's posture, resting one foot upon the other, and so disposed himself, mindfully and clearly comprehending, with the time for rising held in mind. And the Venerable Kundaka sat down right in front of the Blessed One. The Buddha to Kakutha's river came, where cool and limpid flows the pleasant stream, there washed in water clear his weary frame. The Buddha, he in all the world supreme. And having bathed and drank, the teacher straight crossed over, the bhikkhus thronging in his wake. Discoursing holy truths, the Master great, towards the mango grove his path did take. There to the elder Kundaka he spoke, "Lay down my robe, please, folded into 4. Then the elder, swift as lightning stroke, hastened the teacher's bidding to obey. Weary, the Lord then lay down on the mat, and Chunda on the ground before him sat, relieving Chunda's remorse. Then the Blessed One spoke to the Venerable Ananda, saying, "It may come to pass, Ananda, that someone will cause remorse to Chunda the metalworker, saying, 'It is no gain to you, friend Chunda, but a loss, that it was from you the Tathagata took his last alms meal, and then came to his end.' Then, Ananda, The remorse of Chunda should be dispelled after this manner. It is a gain to you, friend Chunda, a blessing that the Tathagata took his last alms meal from you, and then came to his end. For, friend, face to face with the Blessed One I have heard and learned. There are two offerings of food which are of equal fruition, of equal outcome, exceeding in grandeur the fruition and result of any other offerings of food. Which two? The one partaken of by the Tathagata before becoming fully enlightened in unsurpassed, supreme enlightenment, and the one partaken of by the Tathagata before passing into the state of Nibbana in which no element of clinging remains. By his deed the worthy Chunda has accumulated merit which makes for long life, beauty, well-being, glory, heavenly rebirth, and sovereignty. Thus, Ananda, the remorse of Chunda the metalworker should be dispelled. Then the Blessed One, understanding that matter, breathed forth the solemn utterance. Who gives, his virtues shall increase. Who is self-curbed, no hatred bears. Whoso is skilled in virtue, evil shuns, and by the rooting out of lust and hate, and all delusion, comes to be at peace.